disappearing, disconnecting all the visual cues that advertise the presence of a mind, a self that's here somewhere already hidden. One way this may be accomplished, a technique he's previously playground bully tested, is by standing still, ideally in some liminal location, in some threshold area, sheltering wall that edged the schoolyard, cavern, hilltop, city limit, spaces between world and underworld, skyline and sky, streetlights and wilderness. Don't move. For almost 60 years, don't move. Stand still and turn to urban furniture, to your own monument, to landscape. Bypass all the cultural motion sensors, become sub or supraliminal, white noise on the surveillance footage. In the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and, better yet, invisible. Steve Moore sat in the armchair opposite his bed with ballpoint pen and notepad, spiral-bound, neat sloping capitals, each line a blue Q leaning forward, barely masking their impatience as the book-crammed room around him pales unnoticed into dusk there on the top of Shooter's Hill. Man with a foolish grin, perfectly still, as failing light adjusts to match his ash-slide hair, to match the wet slate gleam his skin has, the South London moon tan. Slowly the defining edge is lost in grey on grey, a photo undeveloping. The textures vanish in obliterating gloss, details excuse themselves. Fine wrinkles spreading from the corners of his eyes, curved up around the brow, curved down around the cheekbones, face like a magnetic field. All this erased, and then the body outline fades. The slight frame that conspires with posture to seem even slighter. Basically, an Adam's apple and its support system. Melted, gone into the darkening of the cosy room, the man hutch with its pagan icon huddle. Finally, the only light is this of the metropolis. The great black garden of a million flowers on fire spread supine and magnificent below his rear north-facing bedroom window. This and moonlight. Black on silver-dusted black, the hill pokes up its positive yang terminal into the night's electrolyte, plated across the centuries with urban dream in a metallic rind. Seabed before the Ice Age. Residues of fossil night sweat crown the tumulus, a cradle cap of gravel sheltering the clay and chalk beneath, while all around wore down to lowland. Marine aeons half remembered still in seaside decors that incongruously dot the closes and steep lanes. Its sickle-shaped mass crystal shot with selenites rhomboidalis, Shooter's Hill is dreaming London. Dreaming London.
Now you might pray to God, y'all, but I like Lucifer best of all. Sunday school is a place for fools. It's hot in hell, but the devil's cool. Don't keep Satan waiting. Don't keep Satan waiting. So don't just sit there, join the club. Sell your soul to Beelzebub.
Hey everybody, it is I, Count Jackula, favorite satanic streamer, here yet again for another Count Jackula stream. With me today is Leslie Rice, aka Signal Obscura, aka Fear Fan, which is how I ran into him. That was the nomenclature that you were using at the time.
Please don't tell them how long ago that was.
Oh, that was about 12 years ago.
I said don't tell them.
Yeah. I know. We were all young up and comers, all trying to get on Channel Awesome, and me, you, and Horror Guru were like three of the guys that actually got on the site.
Which I honestly can't believe there were like 1,000 candidates. So it was kind of nuts that like all three of us who were like kind of at least a little bit, I think, familiar with each other before that.
Yeah. Yeah, we were familiar with each other, and we also like all did similar things. Like we were pretty sure they were only going to pick one horror guy.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy that they went for 3, but hey, I mean, reach exceeding their grasp is almost a trademark at this point.
Oh geez, yeah. I have no idea what Channel Awesome. I mean, I have some idea what some of the people that were there are doing, but the organization itself, I completely lost track of. I'm like, well, Doug's there. That's all I know. You know,
I don't
I don't
know.
even know if like
Is
Brad
it
is
just
still
him
on that site.
now? I have no idea.
Yeah, I have
Honestly,
no clue. Maybe I should check that up. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Victor Neckerfunk's like,
some
yeah,
ways,
Channel Awesome. That was like 100 years ago. I was like, yeah,
mm,
kind of was, kind of
you know,
was.
in some ways, it's almost like a blessing though that it happened because I think that like everybody who left has kind of been pursuing their own thing and kind of
Well,
making it
it was the band was gonna have to break up at some point, you
true.
know, like a good cast of SNL. It couldn't like fucking be the same people forever. But man, I did not expect it to just completely disintegrate on us. Because like we walked in and we're like,
It was like
"Hey,
a month.
everybody," and then a month later, everything just completely
Like
collapsed.
literally a month, I remember because I was getting payouts from Blip in those days, which for
Mm-hmm.
you youngins in the audience was kind of where reviewers went initially. Honestly, they had a really sweet deal. Like zero copyright troubles. You got a fair rate of pay for your videos. So yeah, it was kind of hilarious because we got into Channel Awesome. There was like 1 month where we still had Blip, then that died. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
started going to YouTube and having troubles. And then, like, almost instantly after that,
Yeah, 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 because it was like Blip crashed and then they updated the site and everyone's views went down.
exactly,
Because that was, oh man, that changeover was dramatic and obvious to
brutal.
all of us. It was so brutal because we were just like, what the fuck happened? And like, because everyone's like, I thought you were on Channel Awesome. Like, we can't find your videos. And we're like, yeah, we know, no one can.
Exactly. And uploading them was a bitch, like trying to schedule with that many people. They
Yeah.
did not have their fucking logistics on point.
No, no. And then changed the then Allison got sacked
Hmm.
and everybody
Or
and a
left.
bunch of people left. Oh no, no, she was removed. She was
I like barely
fired.
fucking remember the initial stuff. All I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, I remember it because I was right there when it happened.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually talking to Allison the minute she got the notice that she
Oh
had
shit.
been sacked.
But Allison, okay, that like makes even less sense to me because she's, not the person who gets fired, if you know what I
No,
mean.
no, 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 no. She absolutely is not really a person who makes a lot of waves, you
No.
know. But she and management, well, God, who was the head guy again? Wasn't
I
not Doug, not Rob, but the other guy.
um yeah, whatever. The fucking money man
The money
business
guy.
guy
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The business guy. He and Allison got into a
into it.
lot of fights.
Uh,
And a lot of it just basically came down to I, I think she's just looking for an apology.
yeah, it seemed like most of it to me
Yeah,
because
it was like, hey, like we're all
what's
because basically she became like she was like the site's scapegoat for things that were going wrong. And it was like,
yeah,
why? Like, what is she doing?
I don't know honestly.
Yeah.
It's funny. Just, for those of you in listener land out there who are thinking, wow, how can this be such a shit show? Just a quick little, picture it, if you will, here.
Yeah.
We aren't people who went to business school. They aren't people who went to business school. Basically, what you have is a bunch of nerds who found a community online. Everybody liked them. And so they started to get a little bit of a payout from it. that's basically it. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
like
And the business
unless,
guy was not what you would call a math dude.
yeah, think Colonel Parker in a
Mm.
worse way, kind of.
Yikes, that's a comparison. You know, good lord. But like, yeah, it was bad and it was rough, and I couldn't understand why Mashad, that was his name.
Mm,
Um, M-
Mike
yeah, Mike
Michaud.
Mashad, like why he had a problem with Allison, because I was like, Allison's really easy to get along with, if anything. Like, you know, she's very much like keep your head down, like don't cause
Exactly.
problems. So whenever it's one of those like she was like kind of my barometer for how like things were going, because it's like if Allison is in a position where she is saying something, then it's an issue. Like
Yeah,
we've gone past the point where we should have addressed this, because it should never have gotten to the point where Allison was going to say something. But
kind of like
when
little Geiger counter pins that they wear in
yeah,
reactors.
yeah, exactly. And so because she would do something like she also I look, I don't know, but I really got the feeling that the thing that Mashad really, really didn't like about Allison is the fact that she was a woman.
I didn't want to say it, but honestly, I think that is one reason why she was kind of, had the finger pointed at her sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because it didn't violate the whole weird fucking boys club thing that he had going.
Yeah, and it was because of the way Mashad behaved that made me wonder, oh, maybe there's a reason the other three guys left. Maybe this is a big part of part of why, like, the guy who played Mati, like why he left, and the other business guy before him left.
Yeah,
Like this could have been it. Just the like we've got this one guy who's like this that we can't do anything with. Like he's causing too many problems. But we can't get rid of him. He's a partner. So all I can do is leave. You know, like I've seen business arrangements happen like that a lot, and it usually goes down the way it went down, which is basically everything goes bad, then it gets worse, then it completely implodes.
oh God,
Like just completely, because the person left in charge isn't the person who could do all the stuff that it takes to sustain a business. You
exactly.
know, Everyone else has left because of their bad decisions. And I was like, well, I kind of look a little, that's kind of what it's looking like there, Hoss. You know, Funny enough, that was like not ultimately why I left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ultimately, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a contributing factor, definitely. But like the reason I left was because I realized I can get along with these people, but I'm not feeling the brotherhood.
I can understand that. I can see it. It's weird. I mean, I think it was a bit of reality shock almost in a way,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
think that we were fans.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. We started out as fans, and then you meet people, and you're like, oh, so it's kind of held together with baling wire and tape, huh?
Yeah, well, see, I was used to that kind of situation. Like, I've been in so many situations where, like, everything's just held together by, like, fucking duct tape and the will of God, And I was used to that, and that's kind of what I was up for. But I have this, like, I don't know how else to put it, but I have this kind of pirate ship mentality when it comes to things. Like, like very One Piece. Like, no, 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 no. If we all band together, we all stay on task, we are unstoppable. You
That's
know,
fair.
but it turns out a lot of people don't want to go on that ride.
Isn't
And
that true?
yeah, that's the truth. And even some of the people that would like to go on that ride, there's so much dysfunction happening that
It
it
gets
just
in the
doesn't
way.
gets in the way. It felt very much like a Muppet Show without a Kermit. You know,
Holy shit.
it's
That
like,
is
yeah,
that is actually kind of an alarming thought. Yeah.
yeah, you know, like imagine what the Muppets would have done to themselves without Kermit around.
Honestly, that actually wasn't that like the plot of one of the movies, or
It kind of,
like Kermit had
yeah,
disappeared?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the first
yeah,
revival with what's his face with
yeah.
the
Muppets Most Wanted.
deep something, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it was Muppets Most Wanted, where like Kermit disappears and like they all have to figure out what the fuck to do, and like everything goes horribly.
Exactly. No, yeah.
But
Huh.
yeah, because it felt like that Kermit the Frog should have been either Mike or Rob or Doug. You know,
Yeah.
should have been the one making sure like everything was still working.
Rick
And
Grimes
instead,
beat
they
one of
kind of all retreated to their separate corners, and everything fell apart because everyone was asleep at the watch, and everyone who was ringing the alarm bells was being ignored. You know,
yeah,
bad times. It was bad
true.
times. So when the whole thing absolutely fucking imploded, there was one moment where I almost where I regretted my decision to leave, but it only lasted an hour.
Okay.
And that was when they announced that they were going to do another anniversary special, and it
Yes.
was going to be horror based.
Mm-hmm.
And I was mad at myself for about an hour. We found out because Guru had gotten a script because he had a part in it, but it was remote only. You know, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's not as good as you would have hoped, right? You would have hoped they would be like, no, 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 fly out to Illinois, be fine. You know,
Yeah. Are you talking about the anniversary special that was audio only?
no, this was a different
Okay.
one.
Okay, cool, cool.
This is a different one. This was going to be another one directed by Doug.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I actually worked with Lewis on sort
Yeah,
of the post channel awesome one.
Lewis,
Actually,
yeah, Lewis did a couple. You
oh yeah,
know,
he's
he's done a
great.
couple. But like there was going to be one last Channel Awesome anniversary to kind of like kickstart everything, and I was like, kind of too little, too late, bro. But whatever. A lot of people were in on it, and then Change the Channel happened within the hour,
Jesus.
and everything fell apart. And I was looking at the lines because I was going to direct Guru through them, you know,
Yeah.
because that's usually the setup, you know, like whoever's on camera is being directed by the other guy.
I always kind of figured, I like don't know that I ever heard confirmation, but I kind of got that vibe. And it's awesome to have that working relationship.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like me and Guru have a pretty good like, you know, behind and in front of camera relationship. It's actually pretty cool.
Definitely.
But I was reading it and I was getting madder and madder and madder because for some reason they had given the majority of the horror dump. They're Randy because they had a Randy.
Okay. You mean from Scream?
Yeah, yeah, from the
Okay.
Scream franchise. They had a Randy in the script, and that Randy was played by the Dom, and I was like, what? Why would you? Wait, you're gonna fly the Dom? I was like, they gave the Dom your part, dude. This should
Oh,
have
that's
been
great.
you. You
Yeah.
know, because I'm reading it and I'm like, I'm imagining the Dom doing it, and I'm like, no, it would have been way funnier if like I'm like, that would have been way funnier if it had been Horror Guru.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just been way funnier, you know. But then again, I'm biased. And so I was kicking myself because I was like, oh man, I could have had a part in this thing, but I'm really happy for Josh, because he gets a bit part, but I'm also mad on his behalf because I feel like he got robbed. And then the whole thing was canceled. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sue is asking if you were a personality on Tigwatig/Channel Awesome.
Yes, actually, I was on That Guy with the Glasses slash Channel Awesome, along with the Horror Guru and Jack here. Um, it was a show called Terror Obscura. Um, I gotta admit, I didn't get as many episodes up. I sometimes have like tragically
Well,
long
didn't you
periods
do
of
you did
time.
you did do all the Friday 13th movies, didn't you?
I am actually okay. So that's a bit of a yes and no question.
Yeah, well,
I
you
did
did
all of
like you
Brendan
got up to a
Moncrief.
certain number. I remember that.
Actually, I just like this last week uploaded 2009, or at least I tried to. But Warner's copyright bots are every bit as fucking. I swear, fucking Zaslev did something like got on their
Oh.
asses about copyright or something, because like I keep getting fucking called on the 2009 remake of Friday the 13th by the fucking bots. So technically, yes, done with all the mainline Fridays, the new line Fridays. I mean, Paramount.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, actually, I just have 2009 to get into a workable format, and I'm on like my 10th version of it, trying to trick the fucking copyright bots. Actually, I've had to add one or two jokes into the episode.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
no, no, no. Like, yeah, just stuff to break up clips a little bit more, ability to use alternate
Oh
stuff.
man, that is one
Um,
thing I do not miss is fighting with that copyright bot.
oh God, yes. I swear to God, it has gotten me closer to just outright quitting on video content, at least video review content.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I should be able to finish editing that hopefully within the next few days into a YouTube version. There is a Vimeo version. I don't want to make that one live for YouTube, which is kind of my bread and butter.
Right, right.
And after that, I will be finishing off Freddy versus Jason. Um, should I go on about my plans, or is that answer the
Well, I
question?
mean, like if you want to.
Yeah, sure, why not? Um, but yeah, after I am done with Freddy versus Jason, I think I'm going to put it just sort of on an official hiatus instead of just whatever. I'm trying to work on it, or whatever you want to call the other phase that I was doing before this one. Um, but yeah, after that, I'm probably going to continue the Signal. I've got ideas for a couple more seasons actually, so I'm going to try and write all of that. The Signal being my podcast, Silver Bolo award winning. If you're familiar with The Last Drive-In or Joe Bob Briggs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You are a Silver Bolo winner.
Wait, I forgot. We're both horror guys. We're gonna have a horror crowd. Of course, they fucking know.
Yeah. They know Joe Bob.
What's this fucking Larry King?
Yeah. Yeah. I was always mad. I was mad. I was always mad. I was mad I didn't get one, but I kind of quit. So I could only be so angry. The
Yeah.
closest I have to getting an award is getting along really well with Diana Prince.
Oh, yeah. No, she's amazing. Like
Oh no,
one of
she's
the
great. Yeah.
like okay. They say celebrities, they're always different in real life, and when they're doing interviews and shit, they're kind of just playing another character version of them. She is every bit as fantastic, I will say, as a person as comes across in the show.
Yeah. Especially if you like if you followed her Twitter when she was like more active, like no, that's her. Like it was absolutely her. Um my it's she's just such a sweetheart. Like I definitely have a little bit of the like if you have a boyfriend ever treat you bad,
Oh yeah, she
I'll
must
make
be
his legs
protected at all
bend the wrong way.
costs. You take the left, I'll take the right.
Yeah. Oh, make a wish. Oh, cheater. You know?
The old Art the Clown special. Or both.
Special.
I'm
Yeah. I'm actually really looking forward to that third Terrifier movie. You
Yeah,
know,
me too,
I
actually. I
didn't
thought,
really give a shit about Terrifier 1, but Terrifier 2 was so amazing.
okay, now I'm coming to the conclusion that there are two types of people here.
Mm-hmm.
There's Terrifier 1 people who like it because it's sort of a single, isolated, weird, neat little movie. And then there's Terrifier 2 people who kind of like the more injection of gloss. They like the bloodshed retro vibe. They like a more put together story experience, I think.
It
So
Well, actually, what it is for me is that it went farther.
it
That's
did.
a big
That
thing with me.
But
Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm jaded as shit at
y-
this point, as
me
I'm sure
too.
you are. But that fucking scene that just went on and on in the bedroom, and you know what? I've thought about this, and the reason Terrifier works, whereas so many mean grindhouse experience type movies
Yeah.
fail, is that it actually does give a shit about its characters.
Yeah.
They're like,
You have to actually like a good grindhouse movie knows that you're supposed to give a shit about somebody.
exactly. I
You
mean, if
know.
you take a look at any classics, there is something to connect with in at least some of the characters. It's not just bad shit happening to unlikable assholes. I mean,
Yeah.
like fucking street trash, for example. Yeah, okay. Everybody's kind of a piece of a shit, but the main guy's got personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have some of that. But yeah, Terrifier 2 is just disproportionately awful fucking cartoon violence
Yes.
being perpetrated against people who genuinely do not deserve it.
Yeah, and there's something to that. Also, I feel like the guy playing Art the Clown is firing on all cylinders in that movie. You like in the
Yes.
like one is like kind of a warm up to two to his performance in two. Um,
Yes.
the good thing about now some Cat Hermit is asking, should I skip Terrifier 1? Here's the good thing. You can.
You can.
Yeah,
You
you can.
absolutely.
You can just start with 2.
I
You
would
know.
say I like part one personally. I love part two, but part one is just like got a weird place in my heart. I will say this though, it's not actually the first film with Art the Clown.
No, the first one wasn't it
All
like in
Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve? Yeah.
I believe it is All Hallows Eve. I'm like 90% sure.
Yeah, I think so too. That sounds about right,
But
like
yeah, it was a collection of short films, I believe, all from Damien Leone.
I
I want to say yes. I don't know
I
for sure.
think so. Like that was the one with the that was also the one with the cannibal children, right?
I don't think they had the budget for children, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So that might have been another one. There was like 2-3 years where there were like a
a ton
whole
of
bunch of
anthology.
Halloween anthologies that were made.
Oh yeah,
I think it was because like everyone was trying to be like the next Trick or Treat.
and mix it with the VHS success from around that time.
Yeah. And then like when VHS returned, they just kind of like it just kind of bowled everyone's shit over.
Exactly. Oh God, actually, there's still some good found footage that I feel was directly kind of inspired to be found footage because of that.
Yeah. I remember one of the horror anthologies that we discussed way back because like it had just come out was oh damn, it was like what was it? Theater
Southbound
Bazaar. I think it was Theater Bazaar.
Theater Bazaar. Yeah, I think I remember Theater Bazaar.
Yeah, it was really uneven, but it had this one really good bit, this one really good short story about a girl watching a deer get killed.
Hmm.
And it's basically a little girl whose mom is the little girl has just figured out what death is, and the mom is
Ah,
talking to her about it, and they're relating, and you're watching like what happened to spark this conversation, and it's a guy hitting a deer on the road, and somebody kills the deer, like puts it out of its misery because it's like mangled,
Yeah.
and that one was super good. The others were
Rewatch
weird.
that.
The first one was like a Paul Stanley one about a frog witch.
I think I may not. I may have actually not seen this one.
Oh,
Like for a little while,
it's
I was thinking
horribly
like
bizarre. It's horribly uneven. Like,
a lot of them are.
yeah. But I mean, like, we're more uneven than most, because there are some where you watch it, you're just like, what the hell was that?
Like the original VHS, I got to say there are some segments that are a bit like that.
Nah, it's
I mean,
more like it's more on the quality level like VHS viral, where you're like,
oh yeah, some are
yeah,
just
you're
absolute.
like, well,
What
one's
the
really good,
fuck?
but all the others are just ass.
Oh
They're just
God!
bad.
At least they've evened out in quality. I'm looking forward to Beyond.
Mm-hmm. No, the last like 2 or 3 like VHS movies have been really good.
Yeah, pulled their shit together.
Yeah.
Love that one. What was it? Was it like Thai or Filipino? And there was like the cyborg zombies. I know it wasn't Japan.
Yes. Yeah. Uh it was the same guy who did Safe Havens. And
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
and
that one.
who was also the director. I believe he was the director of The Raid.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, then it's
Yeah, he
Philippine.
also did L for Libido and ABCs of Death, which was my
Oh
favorite
God,
segment.
ABC's of Death is great. Sequels actually just as good. It actually has I think the first fuck, what's his face? Did Psycho Gorman, The Void. It starts with a K, and I can never fucking remember. I
Oh
keep
yeah,
getting
yeah, I
crossed
know.
up with fucking
I
John Krasinski for some reason.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. That actually wasn't their first. Like they've
Oh,
actually done a whole bunch of movies. Those guys had actually done like a few movies before doing the ABC's Death and The Void. One of them being Manborg. They did a movie called
oh, yeah.
Manborg.
Okay, yeah, no, I saw Manborg. You're right. That is definitely the same person.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if
same
you watch
guys.
one of the movies from these people, you will never mistake it for anything by anybody else.
Yes, exactly. Because like they love that like Manborg was like that beautifully over CG'd. Like we are purposefully doing this. This is an artistic choice.
Basically, the aesthetic that they went for is 90s FMV game.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like
And
like
it's
the
so
Resident
fun.
Evil intro.
Manborg is so fun.
God, yes.
Oh
Uh,
man.
but
It's
yeah, we talked a little bit about anthologies. Any particular favorites as far as that
well,
goes?
when you really get to, okay, like First Creep Show, Trick or Treat, those
Oh,
are
without.
absolutely my favorites. Right after that, I think is Twilight Zone the movie.
Oh yeah, another one.
Yeah, because it's got that amazing fucking George Miller version of horror at 20,000 feet.
Yes. Oh, that's so fucking
John
good.
Lithgow, oh, so good.
And I love the update. Like, I know they had to update it from the TV series because honestly, I remember the first time I saw that episode with Shatner, and I liked on the Goblin reveal or Gremlin reveal,
Yeah,
fucking shit myself laughing almost.
yeah, because it's so doofy looking. Like,
He's got his lips on the fucking window, like.
yeah, and like the gremlin in the George Miller one is just so much more malevolent and so much
Oh,
more of an asshole.
oh, it is. It knows it's being watched, and it is fucking with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it made that shit personal.
Yeah. Another anthology that I like, but I wouldn't say it's good. I would just say I like it. Whisper to a Scream.
Ooh.
If you've okay. So that title, great title. Not so great movie.
Yeah.
But it's but dig it. Susan Tyrell is a reporter, and she goes to a town to
Okay.
interview this mysterious like mayor who's played by Vincent Price.
Oh, yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hometown boy here in
And he
St. Louis.
tells stories of the town. The first one being about a necrophilic
Holy,
abortion baby.
holy fuck.
Oh man, it's so stupid.
Okay, I'm getting that shit.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Whisper to a
Okay.
Scream.
Okay. I've heard the title. I mean, that's the thing. There's so much these days, and there's like more shit to watch every year.
Yeah, and of
Oh.
course you've seen Grim Prairie Tales, right?
Actually, I may have missed that one.
That's another great anthology. That's it's gooder. It's gooder. It's not good. It's gooder. It's okay. Brad Dourif is in the Old West, right? He's on the prairie.
Again, sold instantly with the
Yeah,
first
and he
sentence.
runs into James Earl Jones, who is a bounty hunter, who has to share a campfire with him. And to pass the time, they tell each other stories. And one of the stories is about a woman who is seen on the prairie who sucks people into her vagina.
Oh my fucking god, that is amazing.
Dude, hey, movies used to go hard.
They did.
Films used to
Although
go
I think they
hard.
actually did that same thing in American Gods.
Oh, that's right. What's her face?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one
Queen
got
of
us at the
Sheba.
start. Just,
Yeah, just
I mean, not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Not how I want to go, but not a bad way
Way to
go.
go, like
I
there
mean,
are
if
worse fates.
I mean, if it's that or a heart attack, I'm probably going for that.
Yeah. Oh, someone brought up Tales. Oh, Flashman brought up Tales from the Hood. That's another great. But that one's
From the
legit
fucking
good.
hood.
That
Oh,
one's legit
start
good.
to fucking finish. Like, I don't think there's a loser among the segments.
No, they're all good.
Oh god,
like even the wraparound segment is great because you got like Clarence.
it is. I will admit,
Clarence doing that like it ain't the Terradome.
oh,
Neither. Welcome to hell.
oh, it's beautiful. I mean, mwah, chef's kiss.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the CGI is a little dodgy at the end. I'd say,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
for me, VHS 2. There's one called Southbound. Have you seen Southbound?
I have seen Southbound.
It's a very fucking good collection of stories about quite literally the highway to hell.
Yeah, the one I really liked was the guy looking for his sister.
Yes, that's one of two that I guess
was
you would.
the best one because like that was the weirdest.
And it went a few places, but I think it needed the rest of the movie to give it some context.
It did.
Because you don't know if this place is like full of actual people or what's going on. Not to give too much away to watch
like
the movie, guys.
The unfortunately the last segment, which due to the way the movie is structured, it has to be the last segment. You can't move it. Is the weakest.
It is. It really is, and I think mainly it serves almost exclusively. Well, technically, okay. Like I said, I don't like to do spoilers, but fuck it. It's also the first sequence in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they split it up. Like it starts with one segment,
so,
doesn't finish, goes on to another one, and then another one, then another one, and then finishes with the one in the beginning.
Yeah, in a way, their exit is as soft as the lead in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I actually no, actually was Southbound the one with the guy driving and there's a tape playing constantly in the background? Was that Southbound or was that another one?
You named the correct one early. That segment with the guy retrieving his sister, and trying to get her out of town, so to speak. Um,
Oh
yeah,
no,
that
I'm
that.
thinking I'm thinking of the holiday one.
Oh, holidays.
Yeah,
I think it's just
holidays.
called holidays.
Yeah, holidays. And yeah, I was thinking of the Father's Day segment, which I hated. Because it didn't result. It's one of those. Did I, you had this great lead up to a story that never happens, like
No, I get it.
oh, it wasn't like that Valentine's Day one, like that one was awesome.
Oh yeah, again, uneven, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
you just get a few head scratchers in there.
Yeah, yeah, that was a real head scratchy one.
But yeah, that sequence or the ambulance, the hit and run sequence.
Oh, with the guy who's forced to fucking do
Oh
the
god,
stuff in the
I
hospital.
love how that
So
ends
good.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit. And here's the thing, it plays on so many different I think anxieties, because I think everybody has mentally said, well, okay, if I was in this situation, what kind of person am I? Would I walk away? Would I try to do something to help?
Yeah. 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 It preys on all of that. And I kind of love
The
I
performance,
really love the performance. I really love the way it ended because it was that kind of like, oh,
cosmic fairness, which is
yeah, yeah,
so hard
yeah.
to
Like
find.
hell has to somehow be fair,
Exactly.
you know?
Otherwise, it doesn't. Otherwise, the entire system's broken, which is a terrifying notion. But I mean, do we really need that on top of everything else?
Yeah. It's like, nah, hell's got to be fair. Otherwise, it's not punishment.
Exactly.
It's just
Have to
cruelty at
be
that point.
rules.
Yeah, there have to be rules. You know, yeah, no, that was really cool. Yeah, this was, yeah, 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 yeah. It's like, I wish that the outro had been better. And I wish the first full segment, as opposed to the
Yeah,
first
I
half
guess
of
you
the
could.
first part of the wraparound. Um, that
Oh, oh,
I
oh, with the
call with the like the five girls. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
that one.
called that one 30 seconds in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like the most basic setup in something that has a lot of really fucking cool setups.
Yeah. Oh, Sue Blanton is talking about the gargoyle story from Tales from the Dark Side, the
Oh,
movie. Oh yeah, no,
yes.
no, same.
AKA Creep Show 3.
Yeah, aka the real Creepshow 3.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do
no,
not
that gargoyle
acknowledge.
story, it has such a sad ending, and it was one of the things where I learned an important lesson from that story is when you find love, don't question it.
Damn right.
Don't question it. You know?
Again,
Hey,
universal
sometimes it's
themes.
okay to keep a few secrets, you know.
Yeah. Actually, that has like kind of a weird fucking lesson when you think about it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But it's all about keeping a vow, right? You know.
Yeah. Yeah, he promises basically this thing attacks him, and it says, if you promise not to say that you've seen me for the rest of your life, then you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
And he's like a failing artist, Pickman's model kind of guy who, after the encounter, everything does start to go right. People start buying his pictures of the gargoyle and shit that he's making, but he can never tell anybody that it actually happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he does and things go horribly wrong.
Yes.
And well, I always also that gargoyle looked awesome. You
Oh
know.
God, yeah. What? That wasn't Stan Winston.
Actually, I think it might have been. I think it might have been Stan Winston.
I'm thinking about the rest of the effects in that movie, and I mean, there are a few that seem a bit, Winston-y, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let's see who made the
The Mummy
gargoyle
definitely looks like something
from
they guys
oh
would do.
yeah. Tales from the Dark I was a little sad that they didn't actually like do the Tales from the Dark Side voice intro.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
God, man, anthologies are the theme for the night. We didn't even realize.
Yeah. Didn't even realize it.
Another great
Let's
one, Black
see.
Mass.
Oh, I
Or
don't think I've
Baba.
seen that one.
Yeah, actually, they had that one film out this year that everybody's like kind of going nuts for. I haven't seen it yet. The Vroidalok.
Eh?
Yeah, it's like a Russian vampire myth, I think.
Huh.
Vrydulak, I think. Rydalak, something.
Cadillac? Oh, wait. It looks like maybe Tales of the Dark Side might have actually had only one director.
Really?
Yeah.
That is rare for an anthology film.
Yeah, I need to double check that. Hold on. Let's see. Tales of the Dark
Please.
Side. IMDb. Let's check that out.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Our Bible.
Writers, directors. Oh, no. Apparently he directed all three of them.
Huh.
Damn. That was.
Well, there is a nice visual consistency to the movie. I will say that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it goes down so smooth. I mean, George Romero did everything in Creep Show. So
It's true. That is true. Yeah. Oh, apparently the gargoyle story is actually based off of a Japanese folktale.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it
Just
does.
culturally speaking, like if you've heard Japanese ghost stories, they are very much like that, where like promises and secrets and so forth are like held in esteem above all other values.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not to sound I hate it when
Well,
people
no. That's actually a
but
thing. You know.
honor.
Yeah. Well, we call it honor, but really, it's like upholding a promise, upholding a vow is the big thing. It's the big
Yeah.
deal. You don't. It also explains a lot of cultural idiosyncrasies of Japan, like why they get so upset if you quit your job.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, why? Why are you breaking your promise to this company that you were going to stay employed here? Whereas America is just sort of like, oh, well, that they'll say something mean like, this is very unprofessional of you, and you're like, yeah, whatever, deuces, see ya. Like, no loyalty. Nobody has any loyalty whatsoever.
If it's better for your pocketbook, then go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, to the point where that's actually like something that frustrates a lot of Japanese companies when it comes to American business. The idea of like all of a sudden cutting someone off because you got a better deal somewhere else is like it's really rude.
Well,
It's
I mean,
like,
it
"Oh, you
is
don't want so you don't want a working relationship."
exactly. It's pretty soulless, even for corporations.
Oh yeah. It I much prefer I much prefer like the kind of like European way of doing things, which is somewhere in the middle.
Hmm,
Which is no, you're always trying to like always trying to forge a stable relationship, but somebody's not upholding their end of the deal, then that's no good.
true, true.
Oh, somebody brought up John Carpenter's body bags.
Body bags,
Body
good one.
bags was
Love Mark Hamill segment.
yeah. A lot of people, funny thing, like a lot of people forget that like Mark Hamill was also is in one of the first segments of Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories.
A series I still have to get around to.
It's super uneven. Some of the story because they're not all horror.
Oh
They're
yeah,
all, but they are all fantasy. You know,
It's like the Twilight Zone movie. You got that part in the middle with Scatman Crothers, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's much more in line, generally much more in line with Kick the Can in its tone. It's much more whimsical.
Yeah.
There was one, however, that I thought was really odd. I kind of liked it, but it was really melancholic. It was about a boy who realizes the old man next door is a vampire,
Okay.
but the vampire is in that town to commit suicide.
That is actually the plot of I Am Not a Serial Killer.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a serial killer. It's a very similar plot.
Although I'm sure that if this is meant to be more, like of a fantasy wise, it probably has a happier ending.
I don't know about happier ending. It it's not as horrific. It's more sad than horrifying
Ah,
because like he's the vampire is like, okay, there's a reason vampires don't live around humans. And he keeps alluding to this like, now one night it will happen and you'll know. But I don't want to tell you because this is the only way I can do this. Not even the sun just is painful.
wow.
It won't kill me. There's only one thing that can. And it turns out that if a vampire stays in one area too long, humans around them transform into werewolves.
Huh.
Yeah, and at the end is like the town turning into werewolves and killing him. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it was weird. You know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would actually be very curious. I mean, I don't think that's anything that anybody in the real world has believed. It sounds like it was made up for Hollywood, but it does make you wonder because sometimes, like some of the weird shit you find, like original vampire lore, they didn't have fangs; it was like a sharpened tongue or proboscis.
yeah.
You know,
Well, what we call vampires today actually quite recent. It started in the Victorian era in America, in Virginia, actually.
yes, yes, I actually heard this with an outbreak of was it cholera
No, it wasn't
or
cholera. It was tuberculosis.
tuberculosis? It's that's like one of the three things that killed
Yeah,
people
yeah.
in
One
the
of the
hospital.
illnesses that can cause you to slip into a coma.
Yeah, yeah,
You know. But yeah, yeah. It also there was a Virginia vampire scare where everyone was worried about these vampires but coming out of the grave, and it migrated back to Europe. It was really strange. It's one of those moments where it's like the vampire is actually its origin is actually in the New World, but
yeah. The modern man.
it worked its way back to the legends, to the similar legends that were in Europe, and retroactively became like synonymous with like the Strigoi or the Nosferatu and things like that.
Old gods wear new faces.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And but like all the stuff we associate with vampires today comes from the Virginia thing. Crosses, coffins,
Yeah.
um even the medicinal herbs like garlic all comes from the Virginia myth. It calls from the Virginia thing. And the reason is because it was a huge news story. It was the Anna Nicole Smith OJ trial of like 1853. You know? Was this like, oh my God, there might be vampires in fucking Virginia? It's insane because you're like reading it and you're like, they're acting like vampires are real, bro. These reporters are reporting on this as if a vampire might be a real thing.
God, can you imagine instead of like air quality? and shit like that. You got the fucking vampire alert on your early morning news.
We were
Okay,
expecting heavy vampires tonight, so
if you're traveling up I-87, watch out for those vampires.
vampires. Yeah, 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 yeah. Man, that's a cooler world.
Actually, there was a comic that kind of did that. Have you heard of Maniac of New York?
No, I have not.
Okay, I think that they actually stopped publishing it, but it's got like a good 2 or 3 story arcs. Basically, think about it like this. Okay, so the last mainline Friday the 13th was part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it got sold off to New Line. Now, imagine if Jason didn't get like washed out to sea or dissolved completely or anything like that, and he just became New York's problem. Like he just keeps resurrecting, keeps murdering
Oh,
people.
okay.
So
Okay, so
basically,
there's like a supernatural slasher killer that just stalks Manhattan.
pretty much, he's called Maniac Harry, and he's a very clear Jason Voorhees proxy. Sort of a weird, like almost like the Slaughterhouse games, where it's like a
Yes, you mean
tech version of a
Splatterhouse?
hockey mask. Splatterhouse, yeah. Love it. But yeah, basically he just shows up in New York one day, starts mowing down New Yorkers in Times Square. The mayor vows to rid New York City of him, and then it cuts to like 10 years later where there's a Maniac Harry alert on the morning news. He was sighted down in the Bronx last night, so remember to close your windows. Now on with the weather. You know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on, hold on.
Like basically
Apparently,
New
I
York has
have
gotten
a
jaded.
beast of my own that I must attend to. Hello,
No worries, no worries.
big boy. Who's the big boy? Big boy. All right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Run, run, run. Little bastard.
Oh, wait, me or them?
Oh, the cat.
Okay,
My cat
both qualify.
Gomez.
Well, 6'2".
My Gomez has gained a lot of weight. So in the time I've had him, he's gone from Raul Julia to Luis Guzman. You know, I
Actually, what's weird is I kind of like at first I was like, huh. But then, when you look back at the original Charles Adam, you're like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, that fits.
Yeah, I
That
was
works.
on board with Luis Guzman from like the word go, you know.
Oh, God, yeah.
The only problem I had with that show was that one episode where Wednesday is horrified by the fact that Gomez killed somebody, and I was like, that doesn't what?
Like, it only
Did
takes
this
one
person who
small.
wrote this not understand the Adams family?
Yeah, and there were like a bunch of things about it that's like that. Like, okay, the Wednesday show. Here's the thing. Number one, that one plot point about her being horrified. All they needed to do was add he didn't kill anybody until he was in high
High
school.
school. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
all you
thought it
need.
should have been like the
Like
anger should have
mortified.
been you killed someone and didn't tell me. Why did you keep this a secret from me? You were supposed to tell me everything, like
Yeah,
not that he killed somebody, but that like for some reason he kept this one a secret,
exactly.
you know.
And my other
Or
thing
she's
is,
horrified by the fact that he did not take pride in the kill, or something like
exactly.
that.
She didn't take his scalp.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Ooh. Oh.
What you got?
Moussaka.
Ooh,
I made moussaka earlier, but due to timing, I had to leave it in the oven, and
no worries. No
yes.
worries. Oh, actually,
Oh,
I'm hungry myself. I'll probably get something after this.
yeah.
But um, right, rewinding. What the fuck were we talking? Oh
We're
yeah,
talking about Wednesday.
Wednesday. Right. What I was saying though, the other thing is if you stick her in sort of a Hogwarts for weirdos situation, she loses a bit of the contrast that makes the Adams family funny. At least that's my 2 bits. I
I
admire
know
them.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that they like, or at least have her be a weirdo among the weirdos. you know, and I think that's kind of what they started leaning towards more as it went on, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like to me, the highlight of that show was the guy who played Uncle Fester.
Oh, oh, Fred Armisen, yeah.
Yeah, Fred Armisen. When he came on and he was Fester, I was like, oh my God, he nailed it.
He gets it, you know? I mean, sometimes shit just works.
You know, like I appreciated the fact that he was harkening back a little bit more towards TV Fester.
Yes.
You know, and I was really happy that I was like, oh my God, he and Thing are like go on capers. Because they
Exactly.
used to always talk, they
I don't want to
used to
watch
do
that
that in the TV show.
Yeah. I like kind of want to watch a Thing Fester heist series spin-off thing.
I know,
You know,
right?
at least a TV movie. Come on, people. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Like, you know, we played an entire video game that was just Fester. Like give us a movie.
Exactly.
Well, you
It's
can
like how
even call it
Spock was the
Fester's
breakout.
Quest.
I'm sorry.
You can even call it Fester's Quest.
Oh my fucking god! Why is nobody doing this? Why?
Lack of imagination, I think. That's what I think it is.
Only one answer: Secret Hitler.
Secret hit. That bastard. That
Yeah,
bastard. It's him again, you know. See.
he's back. Actually, I've been watching Danger 5. You ever seen that?
Oh, Danger 5. That is a show. That was
Oh,
a show.
yeah.
Of course, kill Hitler. I was actually
God.
convinced that was Matt Berry for the longest time. You know,
I wouldn't blame you. It's got kind of some of that same Garth Marenghi's Dark Place energy.
exactly. You know, so I was like, oh, it's Matt Berry. It's like, oh, it's not Matt Berry. It's somebody else.
You know, I kind of love shows like that that like feel like they're almost designed to be the fake shows that are in the background of other shows.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know, I
that's
mean,
exactly how I felt about Danger 5. Like, this is the shitty television show that's in the background, that someone's watching in the background of a movie.
exactly. We took $500 out of our budget and shot this in an afternoon. Here you go. This is what TV looks like there.
I also love the fact that between the two seasons, they went from the 60s to the 80s.
Yes. 20-year time jump.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's like they realized, okay, we're probably only going to get this for 2 seasons. So we might as well do our 2 favorite things. Number one, the 60s serial thing. Fuck the 70s. Let's do the 80s.
Yeah, let's just do the 80s, baby. Yeah. Motherfucker! And for some reason, there's just a samurai lion.
Well, I mean, is that any weirder than the tiger Swedish gangster in fucking season 1? Getting in machete duels on the floor of a casino. If we're making this show sound very awesome, it is.
It's
on
Danger 5. Check it out.
Oh, God, yes.
Ask for it by name.
Like, I rarely shill for stuff, but I will shill for them.
Oh, my God. I love the way they did car chases.
Oh, God, yes.
It was just like really obviously just Hot Wheels cars on sticks. Yeah. You know?
Oh, beautiful.
I saw that and I was like, God damn it, why didn't I think of doing that? You know?
Yeah. I mean, okay, if you love a good cheesy model, then this show will fucking blow your mind.
Yeah. Oh man, speaking of cheesy models, have you seen the new Beetlejuice?
I did.
What did you think?
I actually. What do you think? What do you think?
I loved it.
Hey?
I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I loved it as much as the first, but I will say it actually felt like a sequel and not like a legacy sequel.
Yeah. It's a real legit sequel.
Exactly. You know, because so many times you get these sequels and they've got this weird like fawning reverence for the films that came before it, and sometimes it feels earned. Other times it just feels like, to borrow from South Park, member berries. Just saying,
Yeah,
"Hey, remember
yeah,
this? Hey, remember that?" Um, I felt
yeah.
that
Beetlejuice
trilogy a
doesn't
little bit.
do that actually.
It doesn't. There's a couple of callback jokes, but they feel like actual callback jokes. It's not like
Yeah,
Men in Black 2, here is the exact same joke from the original with one small beat on the end.
yeah. It doesn't feel like a sequel that was made up of a discarded script for the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the problem I had with Adam's Family Values. I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
like a lot of things going on in this movie, but if this feels like a discarded alternate script.
It does. Yeah. It's just a shame. I feel that the cast are better, but yeah.
Does the stop motion Charles Dietz look like Jeffrey Jones's face? Yeah, it looks like a cartoon version, but
Pretty
yes.
much. Yeah. I mean, it's just
All
yeah.
just so we could do that. I won't give it away, but just so we could do one thing.
That was very well
That
done.
was
I mean,
very well done. Oh yeah,
beautiful.
no, that I really really like Beetlejuice. I thought it was fantastic, and
I'm actually fighting to get my ex-wife to see that. She loves the original enough that she's like, "No, I don't want to watch it in case it's bad." I'm like, "No, the first one will still exist. I promise."
oh, you still talk to your ex?
Oh yeah, we're great terms.
Okay,
Uh,
good.
it's one of those things where I got divorced because I wanted to keep loving her and keep being friends with her. And if I go on
Oh,
past that, the incompatibilities were going to make it so that we would wind up not being able to be
there's
cool.
like great friends, but there was a fundamental incompatibility.
Exactly.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, yeah. I feel you on that one. I haven't been lucky or unlucky enough, depending on how you look at it, to have one of those. I instead have a bunch of relationships I've forgotten about. Um,
That's good.
which is not bad considering that one of the alternatives is I
Yeah.
hate this fucking person's
A
guts.
lifetime of memories.
Yeah, yeah, where you're just sort of like, no,
Thousand
no.
years.
It's like this is one of the few times where I'm totally willing to blame you, you know? Like that
Yes.
kind of bad relationship.
Yes.
Um and then there was the one that ended a little tragically. Not in like a death or anything, but like we were going different places in life.
So yeah, more eternal sunshine than
Yeah, a little more Eternal Sunshine. Yeah,
yeah,
as opposed to like something, as
end of
opposed to the
Hamlet.
relationship going bad, you know. And then there's the one that, for some reason, seemed to want to keep me around, and that's where I am today.
Hey, that's good enough.
Yeah,
There must be something.
yeah. Must be something going on. We seem to not want to not be around each other. So, like, you
Like
know,
that's kind of the number one, I think, like most baseline requirement for a relationship.
yeah, it's an amazingly high bar. Like you
It
wouldn't think
is.
it would be, but it is.
I've never gotten it, you know? I never understood it.
I don't I don't know how much I had to do with it. You know, I think I just got lucky.
I think that's really maybe all there is to romance, but
Yeah, well it seems to be this dance of not wanting the dance to permanently end.
that's fair.
You know, and that's and I think a lot of people are looking for something else, but I think that that is ultimately it. It's like, no, I don't. It's like a game you just don't want to end, and you look at the other person, you're like, do we have to end this? No, not really. Okay, then let's just keep going. Let's just see how long it goes, and
And
Some percentage of those are the ones that just last.
yes.
But, but with that said, it's something I, I wish for everybody, which is why I'm actually pro divorce.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen something I've never seen is a divorce that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
I've never seen there's a joke that a divorce friend of mine once said, which is, do you know why divorces are so expensive? They're worth it. And I'm like, if you need a divorce, yes. Yeah, they are. I've I've seen plenty of them, and I've never seen one where I was like, that was a bad decision. It's always been like, yes, thank you.
Exactly. It's the
Yeah,
equivalent of
thank
the
you.
fucking Amityville house bell when get out.
Oh my god.
Literally, you could hang yourself with the red flags on most of the situations that divorce starts being mentioned in.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
I actually, for the longest time, one of the jokes between me and the countess has been, oh, this couple that's having problems is finally getting into marriage counseling, and we're of the opinion that most people who get into marriage counseling, it starts happening way too late.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, so you're
Like when you
really just,
have a moment where you're just like, oh, we need therapy after this. That's probably the Rubicon that you just passed right there.
yeah. You're like, because the fundamental incompatibility between people will usually stem from a fundamental incompatibility with oneself.
Exactly.
You
And it
know,
doesn't even have to be a big thing per se. It just has to be an intolerable thing.
yeah. Well, if it's intolerable, it's a big. In my opinion,
Big to you,
psychologically, it's big. It's still
subjective.
big. Yeah, subjectively, it's still big.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes they are perfectly understandable things. Like, for example, more than one marriage I've known of is busted up because someone was like, I've been hiding something from you, I'm trans.
Oh God.
And I'm like, at that, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, like, you got to take the risk that the relationship will break up over that, because you cannot live that lie.
Yeah.
You cannot live the lie that you are not this way. It won't work. You'll kill yourself.
Or your gargoyle wife
Or your
will.
gargoyle wife will. So yeah, you be very careful.
See how I bring it around? That's
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah. Yeah, divorces sometimes end amicably. I've known a few people who were able, and now apparently I know another one that has been able to do that, which is good. It's those are the sad ones, but at the same time, I can't say that they're unnecessary. You
Oh
know,
geez, we've been living our best lives afterwards, to be perfectly honest.
oh, yeah. I assume there are no children involved.
Oh no.
Good, good. That'll complicate things right quick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and unfortunately, not just for you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, like, you got two other people that is affected by this, and divorce is still often the best option.
Yep.
you
As
know
long as you do it sensibly and realize A, there is a reason you're leaving, and B, you're doing it now to avoid worse stuff later.
oh yeah, oh yeah, probably my
Like my ex-wife, just to get into this for a second,
sure.
she actually is a paralegal, right? She works in the legal profession, and she sees enough shit that she actually said to me, and this is so fucked up, thanks for not just killing me. Like that is how fucked up things can get.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, I know.
Yo,
Like
what
I said,
keeps people in that cycle to the point that happens?
I mean, I think it's familiarity, fear of that, and a love of the narrative. And by that, I mean,
Mm.
basically, when you get into a relationship with somebody, you have this idea. I think everybody projects this fantasy of what their life is going to be like with that person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that some people latch onto that so hard and hold that as the reality that they will move heaven and hell to try and shift things to be that way. And they'll be disappointed in reality when that doesn't conform to what they've already preconceived.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking about one guy I knew in particular. So
We all know this guy.
yeah, we all know this guy. And but because this is like the worst case I had ever seen.
I sense a good story here.
Okay, so long time ago, ages ago, bunch of gaming buddies were like, "Hey man, we're gonna go to Gen Con."
Yeah,
Which for those of you who don't know, for TTRPGs, that's the big show. That's the big one. That's the Comic Con of the industry.
huge.
Huge. Yeah. So we'll pull our money together. We all like go down there and we quickly realize this could be a complete sausage party. So we're like, yeah, we'll just make it a bro down. Like we'll just do that. Why not?
Yeah.
You know? And this one guy comes, and I had just met the guy. We'll call him Adam. And Adam was okay, but he kept leaving the room. And I was trying to figure out why, because I was like, hey, why does dude boy keep leaving?
Like every couple minutes, just
Yeah, like every like 30 minutes, he's got to like leave the room for like 10 to 15. And it's like,
okay, yeah,
what?
that's noticeable. Like
Yeah,
if somebody
it was
walked out,
noticeable.
then walked back in, you'd be like, hmm? And you might notice it, but yeah, if somebody's just gone, then back.
Yeah, it was like he'd be there, he'd be gone, he'd come back, and it would keep happening. And we're like, and this is like the day before the convention officially opens because we'd all gotten there a night early.
Okay.
And I finally ask, what's dude doing in the bathroom? Because I'm figuring, like, is he having trouble? Like, something disagree with him? Because normally if a person does that, I assume that they've been drinking too hard,
Yeah.
but we weren't drinking that hard. We weren't drinking hard. So I was confused as fuck. And he didn't look like he was like, shooting up or something. So I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, and you can tell if somebody's fucked up on
Oh,
something.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then Robin looks at me. The guy who would like organize the whole thing looks at me and he's like, it's his wife. And I'm like, huh? He's like, it's his wife. She keeps fucking calling him. And
Oh,
I'm like, well, why? Because in I'm in my world and I'm like, well, something must be going on, right? Is should he be back home? Is the kid having trouble? Like,
yeah. Was
what
there a
is
car
going
accident?
on? Was there a car accident? Yeah, exactly. I'm
Like
thinking,
you assume there's some sort of life shit going on
yeah, and there is life shit going on. It's just not any of that. He's like,
here.
no, she just won't leave him alone. And I'm like,
Oh,
what do you mean leave him alone? It's like she won't let him be alone with anybody. And I'm like, he's not alone. We're here. And he's like, yeah, but she isn't. And I'm like, did you guys not invite her? It's like, she refuses to come. She refused to come.
mm-hmm.
And now she's mad that Adam came. And I'm like, didn't they work this out ahead of time? And Robin's like, we thought. And I'm like, this happens a lot, doesn't it? And he's like, yeah, this happens every fucking time. And so the convention goes on. The first day of the convention, everything's fine. Get to the evening, and we're coming back from we're going off to get something to eat because, you know, it's about that time. And Adam is like, Robin, can you drive me back to San Francisco? And Adam's like, and Robin's like, no! What are you talking about? I am not driving back to San Francisco. You're gonna have to find your own fucking way there. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but we're kind of nowhere near San Francisco right now.
Yeah.
I am not driving you back there. And he's like, well, you only miss one day. And he's like, I'm not willing to do that, dude. This is your problem. You handle it.
Art.
And so after he has this huge conversation with everybody where he's really obviously he's decided he is going back, but he's trying to make sure nobody is mad at him, but everyone is furious. You know, and I'm like, and I'm furious just because I've been watching this guy fucking like try to communicate with his wife and it just constantly going badly. And I'm just sort of like, look, dude, you gotta, I just looked at him as like, you gotta get a divorce because this is bad. There's a kid. I don't care. You know, the kid's better off with you guys apart because if she can't fucking handle you going off with your nerdy friends to get no pussy while we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
You know, like getting laid was on nobody's agenda for this trip, man. We're here to play D&D like a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, and if she was that fucking concerned, come along.
Then
Yeah.
come along, why not? Like, oh no,
Yeah.
she doesn't do that kind of thing. Why did you marry this woman?
God, yes. But no, you're completely correct. That is like a perfect fucking example of what I'm talking about. She had this fantasy where he would always stay home with her and do what she wanted to do. And she gets pissed off when the reality just doesn't match up to what she conjured, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. She wanted him to be there with her all the time with nobody else. And it's like, no one can live that way.
No. I mean, not unless they need some serious therapy and possibly some pills too. I mean,
Yeah, that's not you're gonna have to let him be alone with some other people at some point.
what are you gonna do? Break his fucking ankles and make him write you a romance novel? Come on,
I know, right? You
exactly.
know, like that
That's
that
a
was that
Kathy
was a
Bates
situation
kind
where
of love.
I was worried she was gonna kill him,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, it's possible.
Oh yeah.
People get so wound up in another person, and like that's what stalkers are made of.
Oh yes.
One minute you're like, "Hey, that girl's pretty," and the next minute you're like, "So, Jodie Foster, who do you want me to off?"
Oh, who do you want me? You want me to kill the president for you? You know, like, no.
Let
Don't do
the
that.
people in the CIA listening hear that he said that. Not
Yeah.
I deliberately avoided the words. Please.
Oh man. But but yeah, I knew this other guy who was wait a minute, I just realized something.
What?
Both that guy was named Adam. I'm pretty sure his name was Adam.
Okay.
There's another guy I knew named Adam who also had a lot of trouble with girls, but he was a stalker.
Weird.
Yeah, I just huh.
A tale of two Adams.
Tale of two Adams. The other Adam, like, was stalking my friend Steve's little sister. Who was an adult. It's not she wasn't like a teenager, you know, like everyone was like, well, she might have been 19. Like this was a crowd where like it was like a bunch of people in their like early 20s, so some people were as young as 19 kind of thing. So maybe she was 19, but then again, he would have been 19 as well. But here's what happened. He becomes obsessed with Steve's sister, and one night when I'm staying over at Steve's place, I hear this knocking on a window.
Really?
And I'm like, yeah, for real. And I'm like, fuck? Dun, 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 dun. Because I'm in the front room. Dun, 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 dun. I look at there's Adam, he's drunk. And he's knocking on the wrong window. I don't know how he made that mistake, but I was like, the fuck are you doing here? Because it's like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. He just came over to like knock on this girl's window at that time. And I had no idea what was going on because Steve hadn't told me yet. And I'm like, Adam, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, is Rebecca, Rebecca, actually, I think her name was Stephanie. I talked to Stephanie, and I'm like, it's 3 in the fucking morning. No. Well, maybe you should have like someone who lives here make that call. No, I'm awake. I'm making that call. No. I am pretty sure that Steve and Jane will not appreciate you just being here unannounced at 3 in the fucking morning. What is wrong with you? Well, can I talk to Stephanie? No, you cannot.
I have to check his fucking teeth. That's some Salem's Lot shit.
Oh,
Danny Flick floating outside the window.
It didn't help that he was dressed up like a fucking like 90s vampire.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Then again, but he was dressed up like he was out of the Vampire Lestat, and I was dressed up like I was out of the Lost Boys. You know, I'm just like, what the fuck do you want out of here? You know, like you're eating worms, Michael. You know, but I just didn't know what to do, so I was like, no, you're not coming in. Fuck off. You know. Next morning, I'm like, Steve, let me tell you what happened last night. And he's like, did Adam come over again? And I'm like, again?
Oh, God.
What, this isn't the first time? Like, all right, you got to tell me what the fuck is going on.
He carried off some of our sheep last time.
Well, apparently he became obsessed with Stephanie, Steve's sister.
Dude sounds like a fucking cryptid.
There he goes.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing the most
going across, running across the pond of the planned community.
Just totally that one scene from Signs with the Mexican kids.
Quick, get a baseball bat and a glass of water. Pretty sure the baseball bat will work no matter what. Shut up. We gotta be sure.
Yes.
But yeah, he had been stalking Steve's sister, and I was just like, so you're telling me this ain't the first time? He's like, this ain't the third time. And I'm like, okay, do you want me to just like beat the crap out of him if he comes over again? He's like, would you? And I'm like, okay, sure. And then I never ran into him again, you know. Well, not under those circumstances. I saw him in other places, but I think by that point he was like a little afraid of talking to me, you know.
I fucking wonder why.
Yeah, apparently, you know, apparently when I'm telling people to fuck off in the middle of the night, I'm a little insistent.
God, my brain's just blank with that Salem's Lot image. You like holding up an inverted cross. You're like
he's
holding
like
up,
flying out the window, but he's really just on his tippy toes outside, bouncing up and down.
Actually, that would be interesting. Like, you know, like an inverted cross for a Satanist. That's the thing that repels a vampire for them. Anyway.
Yeah, I always felt oh God, it was so weird. Yeah, he had the fake teeth and everything, man. You know, and I was just sort of like, why are you wearing these now? You know, like, come on, man. Like, give it a. I mean, we ain't at the club.
Sorry, had to plug in. My battery's dying, so apologies.
Oh, okay.
Can the audience see the change of scenery, or?
Yeah, well, they can see that. We can all see the purple light now.
Oh, good. Just making sure that you don't see the skinned corpse that's slightly over in that
Oh, no,
direction.
no. You secret safe with me. It's cool.
Amazing.
Like, we've all been there, you know.
Indeed.
But yeah, I never understood. I mean, I kind of get what makes a stalker. In an academic sense, like I kind of
Oh, yeah.
I have like a vague feeling for like what's going on, but I always
Well, I think that's
going
one.
through a few relationships usually cures that because you're
Yes.
sort of like, well, I got options, right?
Everybody starts off with the whole Romeo and Juliet. Oh, you're the first person I've met who, made me feel this way. So it must be true love,
Yeah. But even
I
with
would die
Romeo, that
for
wasn't
you.
his first time. Like, I wonder what he did outside when it actually was like his sister's window. Did he read like bad high school poetry at her? I wonder. Like it wouldn't have surprised me. Blacker than the blackest black, black like the
Oh,
soul of
God.
the inside of my heart. It beats
Yep.
for you. Ah.
This one brought to you by the Vogon.
Oh my God. I could just imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Now all these memories of like that period of time are like flashing back in my head, like having to deal with DJ Mike,
Oh.
who was not a bad DJ, but was just a little too fucking into the infamy of being a DJ to the point where it was like, brah, you ain't spinning now. You're fucking Mike who's playing an elf warrior. Shut the fuck up.
So a bit of the whole John Lovitz and the Wedding Singer kind of situation.
Little bit, yeah. Like he wasn't a bad DJ. He was just a piece of shit person.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, there is going to be a new Salem's Lot. I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
The trailer looked pretty good.
It did.
It did. I mean, I'm legitimately fucking digging it.
Yeah, I remember getting into an argument with somebody over Salem's Lot. Because I asked this guy what his favorite horror book was.
Oh yeah, it's a good contender.
Yeah, it's a great contender. But he also said, well, it was the first truly original vampire story that has ever existed. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Because I was like, the first half is just basically Dracula in New England rather than England.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point of the book. That was the whole exercise.
What makes it unique is that it's one of King's town novels. It actually feels like it's got a cast of thousands because he like does these wonderful little chapters that just show different lives in the town.
Yeah. Like it's kind of his he would really it's the thing that he would do that really would come to fruition when he wrote It.
Yes. It was a great example of it. Under the Dome is like I think the latest and possibly last example of that type of novel for him.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he hasn't done that since. I think the Reclaimers, the Reclaimers,
Regulators,
the Regulators. Yeah,
the last Bachman book.
Yeah, the last Bachman book.
Well, actually, no, because there was another
Regulators
one.
was It was quote unquote Stephen King. Desolation, I think, was Bachman. Because Stephen King wrote the same.
No. I had this discussion with my girlfriend a little while ago, actually, and I believe Regulators was King. No, wait. Okay, the one in the desert. They made that into that.
Which is the one that starts with the dead cat, because that's the one that was written, but that's Desperation. Okay, that was the one written by Bachman. by quote unquote Bachman. By the way,
Yeah,
Bachman is just Stephen King under another name.
yeah, pseudonym.
Yeah, a pseudonym because he wanted to do much Bachman was the name he wrote under when he wanted to do things that he thought were way less commercially viable.
Basically, it's Grindhouse Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mr. Scratch to his Alan Wake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
You know,
but yeah,
like
actually,
that was how to put it.
Bachman wrote Rage. That's all I'm saying.
And if you're like, wait, doesn't that kind of sounds like the plot of the Dark Half? Yes, that's what the Dark
That's
Half is all
literally the
about.
plot.
The Dark
Yeah,
Half is all about Stephen King struggling between the identity of Stephen King and Richard Bachman.
yeah.
You know, it's the whole inspiration of that story.
What if my pseudonym came to life and tried to kill me, basically?
Yeah, yeah, because like Richard Bachman, yeah, Running Man was written under Bachman.
Yeah.
You know, so
Long Walk
was The Long Walk. Yeah,
gets an adaptation finally.
that thing's been getting an adaptation forever. I'll believe it
I
when
know,
I see
but I
it.
hear that they're actually, you know, like filming and shit now. Maybe that was just somebody talking out their ass. I don't know. I don't
Well, I hope
fact.
so. Like, I might trust Michael Flanagan with that.
I would, because I mean, shit. Doctor Sleep could have easily fallen flat on its face, but the man's got the touch.
Yeah, yeah, like that was a particularly hard adaptation because he not only had to adapt Dr. Sleep, he had to retrofit it to
Kubrick
the
shining.
Kubrick movie. Yeah. To the Kubrick Shining rather than the novel, which the novel is a much easier trick because it it's not as ambiguous as the film.
No,
You know what is happening in The Shining when you read it. It's about an evil hotel. You
exactly.
know,
It's basically about that old theory that buildings soak up the energy of what goes on inside of it, and enough horrible shit happened that the Overlook happened to soak up enough of that it basically became self aware.
yeah, yeah. Don't always got to watch the boiler. It creeps up on you.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like
That was a great reveal. God, I am so mad that we don't have an adaptation that shows that final confrontation in the hallway between Jack and Danny.
I don't
Like with
know
the
how
possession.
you would do that though. Like that
I,
would
I,
look so goofy.
okay. It works in the book because it's,
Oh, it totally works in the book.
but here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking basically with each blow, the face looks like a little bit less human, but not in
Yeah.
a I'm transforming into a wolf's head kind of way or some shit like that, but more in a Gabriel from the movie Malignant kind of way,
Yeah.
where it's a wound that seems to be taking on a face of its own.
Yeah, because for those of you who haven't read the book, literally when Danny like fights back against his dad, as he breaks his face open, um, Jack Torrance's face like cracks open to reveal the front door of the hotel,
Yeah.
which is creepy as fuck in the book, but in a movie, how do you pull that off?
Yeah. It's one of those things that your mind intuitively knows how fucked up it would be when it tries to picture it. So that makes it kind of scary.
Yeah, but if you were to actually see it, it would be
It,
goofy.
it okay, it would be like most 1990s adaptations of Stephen King stuff.
Ouch.
Well, I mean, come on. That's the reason it looks the way it does. It's because people tried to do it and they just didn't have A, the tech, or B,
Yeah.
the way to create the feeling of the thing along with just the image.
Yeah,
I don't want
like
to say they weren't good at their jobs. I'm just saying, it's hard as fuck to pull that off.
what my one Stephen King movie where I'm like Man, talk about best director making the worst movie, Sleepwalkers.
Ooh, that's a,
Best thing about Sleepwalkers is the cat, and I don't mean the guy that turns into a cat. I literally mean Clovis.
oh yeah,
And I love how on the nose all the dialogue with Clovis is. Like when we meet him, like his owner is saying, "Get the motherfucker, Clovis, get the motherfucker."
yes.
And I'm like, so we have a literal motherfucker, a monster who's a literal motherfucker in the movie, and a cat named after garlic. I wonder what's gonna happen.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's a flawless film. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Perfect use of Enya, you know?
Oh God. Oh,
And
I
the
don't
thing
think
that's
anybody has ever said that sentence before.
oh my god. But yeah, and the thing is you're like, Mick Garris did this? Like, isn't
I
he like
know.
good? You
He's
know?
the mist guy.
Yeah, he's
No, wait, or was that Darabont?
no, it was Darabont who did the mist.
Okay, it was Darabont. But no, actually, it's weird how there's like just a kind of guy in Hollywood who has kind of become famous from doing Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah.
Like it's not it's like a part of their filmography.
Yeah, he actually it's kind of funny. Like Mick Garris is I feel a little bit bad for Mick Garris because he gets overshadowed by Mike Flanagan these days.
Well, yeah.
You
I mean,
know.
Flanagan's amazing though. I mean, shit. Like Haunting of Hill House, that scattered monologue with just that agonizingly slow zoom in. That's a guy who knows what he's fucking doing.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how many fucking people would have cut away from the guy and actually shown little flashes and flashbacks and so forth, but nothing told the story as well as just that guy talking about how fucked up the history of the house was with him and his wife.
The Stand. That's what Mick Garris did. He did The Stand.
Yes, he did The Stand.
Yeah, I was like, I know there was a big Stephen King other thing that he did. What was it?
Yeah, but again, that hand of God thing at the end, that cheesy special effect, again, them just sort of adapting what's in the book, but not having a way of doing it within, you know, their budget, technological limitations, whatever you say, to make it actually work. What?
Yeah. Sorry, I apparently Mick Garris did back in '97. Mick Garris did an anthology film called Quicksilver Highway that I've never heard of, but it's got like a bunch of people in it that you're like that you know, like it's got Christopher Lloyd, Matt Frewer, you know, Clive Barker's in it.
No shit.
Yeah, John Landis is in it. William Oh my god, William Frederick Knight is in it. Okay. Huh. Yeah. It's got a whole bunch of people, and I'm like, I've never heard of this thing.
Is there a theme to it?
It's the Highway to Hell.
Okay.
It's like it seems to all center around a motel that's on the Highway to Hell.
Shit, I'm kind of sold.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I gotta at least see this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. A psychotic hitchhiker falls prey to a relentless, dangerously sharp set of chattering teeth and a human hand that comes to life.
Yes. Chattery teeth.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Wait, the hand that comes to life.
The hand that comes to life. That would be the body politic.
The body politic.
That
exactly
would
what I was
be.
thinking.
Oh. That would be the Clive that would be the one that Clive Barker's probably in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. I know I saw an adaptation. Oh, fuck. I think I saw this a long time ago. Yeah, because how many adaptations of the body politic are there?
There's not a lot. there's like maybe
Two?
two. There's the one I've seen, and then there's like an audio adaptation. The audio adaptation's really great.
Fuck, and come to think of it, yeah, no, I have seen this. I did. I can kind of remember the adaptation. It's of Chattery Teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that would be
Another great Stephen King short story, by the way.
Steven. I don't remember this one.
Oh. Did you want me to just do a quick?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
Chattery Teeth.
Well, yeah. Basically, it's about a salesman, and he's out on this shitty desert highway, and his kid basically gave him a pair of Chattery Teeth, while he's on the road, just as kids give their parents things, when they go on trips and so forth. Anyway, so the dude gets held up, and there's somebody in his car trying to kill him, and he starts to notice that the Chattery Teeth seem to be like moving and maneuvering and so forth. And if I recall right, there's eventually there's a wreck, and he one way or another, the hitchhiker gets killed by the teeth, and the guy wakes up a little bit outside of the car and sees the dude being dragged off into the desert. Later on, somebody says the coyotes killed him or something. I may be blending a few things here, but that's the basic gist of it.
Oh my god.
Just think The Hitcher, but with a pair of fucking murderous Chattery Teeth. They just fucking
great.
they just ruin Rutger Hauer's shit half of the way through the movie.
Oh my god. Do they actually do the voiceover for the hand in the body politic?
I don't remember, man. I
remember in the book, you're very the
aware.
hand is you're aware of the hand's thoughts.
Yeah, it's the hand's perspective.
Yeah, it's mainly told from the perspective of the hand.
Yeah, and it speaks in weird communist on Twitter.
Yeah.
There would be consensus between the liver and the eyes.
Yeah. It's like fucking Lenin.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my god. Man, speaking of Clive Barker, the story that they keep teasing me that they're going to adapt one day is Son of Celluloid.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Oh, anything honestly, I would say fucking anything in that original Books of Blood collection of short stories. If you can find them, read them all, because they're fucking fantastic. The one that I want to see, my dream project, and nobody in their right mind is ever gonna fucking adapt this. It's what is it? Son of Flesh? No, I'm getting it mixed up with Son of Celluloid. Yeah. In the desert, though, the one I'm talking about.
Which
the name?
One?
I'm trying to remember the name. Fuck, the guy's in a car, and there's a weird fucking amalgamated flesh beast that crushes it.
Oh, yes. I forget what that story is.
The word flesh is in the title. Fuck.
Yeah. I've forgotten the name of that.
In the Flesh?
It might be In the Flesh. Oh, yeah. Let's see.
But yeah, I would fucking love to see that adapted. Basically,
yep. In the Flesh.
In the Flesh. Oh, God,
it starts out it's like a beautiful woman, and then it's maybe it's a succubus, and then it just turns into this fucking horrific monster.
No, that's not it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over this one because it's gonna. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. One moment.
You're not thinking of Rawhead Rex, are you?
Oh God, no. I know that got adapted and it was fucking awful. No. It's not Rawhead Rex. I know that's the one with the priest. This one was about, I think Cthulhu gets laid, angry townspeople object. 1 second.
Yes, I just don't know the title of it. I know exactly
Yeah.
what story you're talking about now.
Yes, I have been holding my phone this entire time. Just a
Yeah.
moment. Okay, Books of Blood. If I see the title, it'll jog my memory. Actually, that wound up being made into an anthology film. Hold
Yeah,
on.
a lot of the Books of Blood actually has been adapted.
Oh, Midnight Meat Train was fucking great.
Yeah, I wish they had been able to. I wish they hadn't like lost funding at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Grandfather City. Like that was such a fucking cool idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the original Midnight Meat Train, like instead of it just being like, oh my god, they're like flesh-eating monsters under the city, it's like no, there's like a spirit world down there ruled over by this entity called Grandfather City. You know, so it's not like we're sacrificing people to be eaten by these monsters. It's like, no, you got to make a sacrifice like Aztec god style.
Okay. Hold on. I found it. It has flesh in the title, just not in the actual word flesh. It's the skins of the fathers.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It's about those two towns that can't stop fighting, isn't it?
No. That's in the Hills of the Cities.
Oh, that's in the Hills of the Cities? Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically that one's pretty fucking cool. Basically, there's this ritual where rather than going to war, these two villages in like the Amazon or some shit, it's like South America, I think. Like basically they like strap all of the villages men together until there's like in a structure made of like sticks and shit that's like think like a 5-story tall human being,
Yeah.
and they all like use their combined physical power to like move it, walk around, and like compete with another city. But basically there's like a tragedy so bad that it drives everyone that's inside of the body of that village collectively insane, and they start actually behaving like an individual.
Yep. And they can't disconnect disconnect
Exactly.
themselves.
And it is so fucked up.
Yeah. Is that the story that you were thinking of, or is that
No.
Okay.
This is in the skin. This is called The Skins of the Fathers, and let me just read through it. And it's gonna sound fucking shite because, like, for some reason, Clive Barker is not good on paper, but it's his prose and way of expressing himself that makes his shit work. You know, it's kind of like trying to describe the plot of Eraserhead, basically, where you'll know what happened, but you won't know what it was about. Okay, so Skins of the Fathers. After his car breaks down in Arizona, a man named Davidson witnesses a bizarre parade of monsters. He learns creatures mated with a woman in a nearby town 6 years before and now wish to reclaim Erin, the child she bore. The woman's abusive alcoholic husband knows of the creatures and that they are mostly benevolent, but wants to seek revenge on them for impregnating his wife. It is implied that all modern humans originally came to be as a result of a similar relationship between these creatures and primordial women. But over time, male humans drove the creatures to the brink of extinction. But yeah, basically,
someone's got views on patriarchy.
Yeah.
Like I wonder why.
But basically, the end result is, like I said earlier, Cthulhu gets laid, townspeople unhappy.
Well, too bad.
Pretty much. But no, I would fucking love to see this. It's got kind of some of the same energy as Nightbreed.
I was about to say, yeah. Sounds a little Nightbreedy.
Yeah,
You know?
it's kind of like that. But just think, like, some of the most fucked up shit in Bloodborne is the protagonist, the good.
Oh, okay.
Like these things, like, you know, it said parade of monsters. We're not talking fucking Universal Dracula and Frankenstein.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking
messed
shit
up
from beyond.
Yeah. Well, oh God. actually the Clive Barker adaptation I kind of want to see just because I want to see the climax on the big screen is a Cold Heart Canyon.
Oh fuck yeah!
I
That
mean, that's
they could
like
pull that
gonna
off.
be like that's gotta be NC-17 because that is some like fucking Caligula shit that happens.
Yes, yes, it is. Good fucking book though.
Oh yeah, really good. You know, I think I think you should just flat out get Mickey Rourke to fucking play the main character.
Actually, that would kind of work.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because you could tell that like the main character was a little bit based on Mickey Rourke. You
yeah,
know,
you
so
kind of can.
yeah, so it's like, yeah,
And
just
he's
get the guy to do it.
familiar, and like with Marv, he's familiar. He's done makeup work, before.
Yeah,
So in the part where he's fucked up,
yeah, you know, wouldn't even have to wouldn't have to use too much makeup on in the after pictures.
isn't that the
You
truth?
know, oh man.
Man,
But yeah, Cold Heart Candy is about a Hollywood leading man who like has a plastic surgery disaster and his face gets fucked up, and so while his PR firm is trying to his manager is trying to like smooth everything over and give him like a chance to heal from like the horrible surgery that happens.
motherfucker looks like long legs, basically.
Yeah, yeah, he is fucked up. He is the guy rents this property for him to like stay at in Cold Heart Canyon, which belonged to a silent movie starlet
Yeah,
and was
think
also
spooky house on haunted hill in the Hollywood Hills kind of situation.
yeah. What's the name of the Cthulhu Gets Laid story? Skins of the Fathers.
Skins of the Fathers.
You know, but yeah, he goes there and it turns out that there were like these insane orgy rituals that were performed on the property. So much so that like it is now infested with literal demons.
Like satyrs and shit.
Yeah, and they're not satyrs as in the ancient the ancient
Like we're
spirits.
talking Pan.
Yeah, and they exist specifically because they would fuck animals on the property and they created these like demon hybrids.
Yep.
And now he has to deal with the ghosts of these things.
And by these things, we mean Hollywood socialites.
Oh yeah, totally. like in the best world, an adaptation of Cold Heart Canyon would make the climax of Society look like it was just playing around.
Pretty much.
You know, I forget. Was that the one where like Lilith appears and she has like 12 tits?
Something like that.
It's something like that, you know, like
It's
literally, and literally the Antichrist is a giant penis who keeps touching himself.
It's like been about 20 years since I fucking read it, but yeah, some of these images are striking a chord.
Yeah, well, like there's something like, see, this is why when people say, the nerd world should really get over its 14-year-old boy self. And I'm like, not entirely, you shut up. Because sometimes that part of the id comes up with something amazing.
It does.
Oh, man. Oh, geez. So what's the last book I tried to read? And I say I tried to read.
You don't always make it through, and there's no shame in that.
I couldn't make it, but I was not up to the task. Was Alan Moore's Jerusalem. If you've ever tried to read that book, whoa.
Here's the thing. I like Alan Moore's work before he became Alan Moore, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean.
Here's the thing. I understand why Alan Moore thinks some of the things he thinks and feels some of the things he feels, and he's got every right to think and feel that way. But I also think it has led him to be a bit of a pretentious shit that
Oh, I would agree, and I
uh
believe he would agree as well.
yeah, that has in some ways abandoned what made him a classic on some of the works that he's best known for.
Have you seen the BBC documentary about him?
I actually listened to the master class that he gave. Uh,
Oh, that I've only heard bits of that.
it's not bad.
Like, it sounded really interesting. I saw that one bit about misdirection, and I thought that was pretty brilliant.
Oh yeah.
You know,
And honestly, likening writing to magic is not too far wrong. I mean, it's all about dazzling, directing, getting people to view the world in a different way.
yeah, the altered state of consciousness being,
Exactly.
like even if it's just the altered state of consciousness of reading a book,
Exactly. Because you
Um,
can't deny if you've ever gotten into what you're reading, there is that moment
oh
when the
yeah.
world doesn't exist around you.
Yeah. I think the last time that happened when I was reading a book was when I was reading Clive Barker's Magica.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually did read that. I actually did get through it. Not not an easy read.
no.
You know,
I mean, most of Barker isn't an easy read. I will say
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, it's not so much that it was uncomfortable so much as that the language is dense,
Yeah.
and Alan Moore's Jerusalem is super dense to the point where
Competing with Ulysses.
if you yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, actually, I would say that that's fair. I think that what he's really going for, the mark he's really trying to hit, is the Illuminatus trilogy.
Hmm.
Which I don't know if you've ever tried to read the Illuminatus trilogy.
I have not.
The best advice I can give for reading that book is whatever you do, don't stop reading it, just keep moving ahead. If you're like, wait, did I understand the last passage? Don't worry about it, just keep going. Because the book itself is designed, it is an attempt to mimic through literature the experience of an acid trip.
Oh, okay.
And Moore is doing something similar. Not exactly. Um, because he's trying to do something very purposeful, which is he's trying to create mythical New Hampton, Northampton.
Okay.
Um, and to try to do that, he deliberately creates these visual and prose cul-de-sacs that you could get caught in
Hmm.
and then have to navigate your way out. So, yeah. So, the fact that I have had to restart rereading that book several times and have still not succeeded is actually according to plan,
Hmm.
which is weird. It's very weird knowing that that was the idea. That you're not stupid. The book is deliberately fucking with you so you do this.
Hmm. Okay, now I'm actually more interested than I was previously.
Yeah. Yeah, because there are some books where you have to have like that kind of context in order to even understand what the fuck is going on. But a book where the act of reading it itself is a labyrinthine mystical exercise.
Yeah. Sort of House of Leaves on amphetamines.
Yeah.
Okay.
House of Leaves is mind twisty and mind fucky, but at the end of the day, it's being playful.
It is.
You know, it's being playful, even though it's a story about horrible things that happen.
Yeah.
Um, Jerusalem is a lot more like is a lot more of a direct challenge.
Okay. So basically, we've got, you know, fun character that speaks in riddles versus the Riddler.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, like Alan Moore is being the Riddler on in fucking Jerusalem.
Oof.
You know, and your job basically, and the only way to solve the riddle is to complete the book.
Interesting. And I'm sorry, did you say this one was going to be part of three, or were you just referring to the Illuminatus trilogy?
Oh, the Illuminatus trilogy is at this point is that was written by Robert Anton Wilson.
Oh, okay.
That's a different series. That's a different series entirely. But it was clearly not in its prose, but in its intent. Um, because the Illuminatus trilogy was an attempt to try to mimic an acid experience in prose on paper.
Okay.
It does weird things. One of my favorites being there's an entire chapter that is nothing but alliteration.
Okay.
There's another one where I forget what you call it when you you have like a everything in a sentence revolves around a single concept. Um,
Free
like
association,
he's yeah, it's almost free association, but not quite. It's actually very deliberate. Where
focused association?
focus association, I forget. There's actually a. It's like alliteration, but with concepts. You
Hmm.
know, like he was quite slippy going down the wet road.
Okay.
You know, slippy being like an antiquated word for being tricky.
Yeah.
You know, but you saying slippy specifically because the guy's on a wet road. There is an entire section of the Illuminatus trilogy that is written like that. You
Interesting.
know, and to the point where the actual content of the sentences no longer really matters. You know, it's just the ongoing practice of doing this weird conceptual rhyming.
I see. So,
Um,
quick question: is this like telling a concrete story across the trilogy, or is it just like a collection of fun word puzzle type of things?
no, it's telling us it tells a real
Okay.
story. Like
Okay.
the Illuminatus trilogy tells a real story. So does Jerusalem, for that matter.
You know,
Um,
the only thing that I've read that's even kind of close to that is the Area X trilogy by Jeff Vanderveer,
oh,
Annihilation
I
and the two sequels.
yeah, the granddaddy of all these kind of weird um prose labyrinth kind of ideas is you mentioned Ulysses before. It's usually people go with
Yeah.
Finnegan's Wake.
Oh, Finnegan's Wake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is one of those books that like if you're looking for the plot, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You know, the book is not about the plot. The book is about reading it,
Hmm.
which is just such a bizarre concept in and of
And yet
itself.
it works so well if you can
Yeah.
dial into it.
Yeah, it does. It's considered a classic for a reason.
It's like David Lynch's stuff, how it's not about necessarily the plot, it's about how it makes you feel is part of the plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
I remember the first time I got it. The first time I got what David Lynch was going for, where I understood the plot, point of the movie, and everything that was happening was Lost Highway.
oh yeah, that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, like that I felt was a really good. That's usually the movie I point people towards when they're like, "What do you think?" Is as like I really like David Lynch, but like I don't get him. I'm like, watch Lost Highway. Like that one doesn't go far out of its way to explain itself, but it is the one that I can tell you that there is a real thing happening that can be described.
Absolutely.
You know. Plus I just fucking love that dude. Oh yeah. We've met before. I'm in your house right now.
Oh God,
Oh
yeah.
man.
That is like, oh, what even category would you put that in terms of character trait? Are they just guys? These
They're
are my 10 favorite guys.
I love those characters that are really obviously they exist inside and outside of the narrative at the same time.
Yeah,
You know, like a kind of like a bit like Mephistopheles in either I can't remember which one it is, if it's Faust or Dr. Faustus. Which by the way they are different.
yeah,
One is Dr. Faustus is Christopher Marlowe and Faust is Goethe. And they're the same plot, the exact same plot, but two very different stories.
yeah. Think remake.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they don't know which one is cribbing the other.
hmm,
You know, the only thing the best I prefer the Christopher Marlowe one, um, because that's got a much more directly satanic interpretation. You know, because in the end, Faust wins in Christopher Marlowe's. He kind of wins. You
true.
know, whereas in Goethe's Faust, like everything just goes to hell. It ends like Mozart's Don Giovanni.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, I think I'm starting to look a little peaked there, and I'm also feeling a little tired. Like maybe we,
Well, I mean, we have been talking for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
oh, that's it.
I mean,
Man.
it's 11:13 for me. You're on Pacific time, so
Yeah, yeah. So it's only like a little after 9 for me. You
yeah,
know. So okay. So I got it. So let's one last thing.
yeah.
What in horror are you really looking forward to?
Actually, there's a couple of things that have presented themselves over the last couple of days. Number one, I think that this year has been probably one of the best years in the box office
Yeah.
that I've seen in a long time. Like, I think people are going to look back at this one and be like, "Man, this is the new '87." Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had like three like fucking top grossing horror movies this year.
I mean, Cuckoo, Immaculate, The First Omen.
I
Like,
loved Immaculate.
well, yeah, me neither, but you
No,
get
I
my
no, I loved Immaculate. I actually really like that movie.
Okay. I liked it. I was a little bit disappointed because they used all their strongest imagery up front in like the trailers and stuff. And I was expecting more of a, I mean, maybe not Tarsum, but that shot of her as the Madonna.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
expecting them to do more with that. The rest of it was like pretty straightforward. I wound up liking First Omen more. But anyway, that aside, we're getting off track here. Um, but yeah, no, it has been a fantastic year for horror. As far as what I'm looking forward to this year, I'd say Terrifier 3 is currently tops of my list film wise. Game wise, there's actually a Silent Hill 2 remake coming out. It's great. And they are re releasing Until Dawn,
Oh,
thankfully, now for PC. Yeah, it's got graphical updates, looks like,
and it's
you know,
got the Larry Fazenden.
oh, fuck yeah, everybody loves Fast.
The funny thing was is when someone first showed me that game, I saw Larry Fazenden and I was like, it's Wendigos.
It
And
is.
they were like,
Exactly.
how did you know? And it's like, because
It's
that's
his
Larry
thing.
Fazenden.
It's his thing. He made the film, The Wendigo.
Wendigo. He made 3 movies about a Wendigo.
At minimum. I mean, there was fucking The Last Winter.
Yep.
What was the other
The
one?
Last Winter, Wendigo, and fuck.
Right, there was another.
There was another, and I can't remember the title of it.
But
Oh
yeah,
man.
but yeah, no. when that one comes out, I'm trying to decide if I want to do like a giveaway on my stream for it or not. I probably will do one for Silent Hill 2 since I've been doing the whole series. But anyway, yeah, all that's great. January, we've got something new from Bong Joon-ho coming out.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Mickey 17, which honestly I feel bad because I made the same mistake with Pattinson that I did DiCaprio. I thought, okay, so here's a pretty boy. He's going to be in
Oh.
Heartthrob for a month, and then he starts coming out with shit like he has been, and
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
oh, The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse is awesome. Yeah, like the
Wow.
one I felt really bad for was Kirsten Stewart
Oh, yeah.
because turns out amazing actress.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love
turns out
Underwater.
yeah, Underwater is great. Also, have you seen Love Lies Love Lies Bleeding?
I have not seen it yet.
You need to see that movie. You need to see that
Absolutely.
movie.
It is on my list. Like, but yeah, it's weird, which really makes you think about how bad the material is. The two really fantastic actors could not
Yeah.
make it work.
No, because
They tried.
it's a terrible story. It's
I
just
know.
bad.
Oh God. But yeah, the other one is a new film that I just found out about this morning. I don't know if it's been on anybody else's radar, starring Crispin Glover, called Mr. K.
Mr. K. Yeah,
Mr. K.
that looks
Like, that came
interesting.
out of fucking left field. Honestly, I think that maybe Hollywood, for fucking once, might have learned the right lesson from the success of Poor Things.
Could be.
Like, maybe they're going to start actually funding some more weird films from artists who have a distinct vision instead of, giving us more. Like, don't get me wrong, I've liked a lot of what we've gotten over the last year and a lot of other things, but something that feels less like it was decided upon by a committee.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Fast and Furious franchise, but if every movie was like that, I would be pissed.
Exactly. Things have been like a little bit too polished, and I don't think they've been willing to put stuff in the hands of, say, a Michael Mann or.
Yeah. It's starting to all of the like arty like horror movies of the past like 5 years are starting to slowly seep in.
Yeah.
Which is how it always happens.
I mean,
It's how
Eggers is
artistic
getting Nosferatu.
movements in films always work. It always starts in horror movies.
It does.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There's actually you mentioned Silent Hill. There's actually a video game inspired by Silent Hill that I'm looking forward to called Post Trauma.
Oh yes, that's on. I've actually wish listed that. I am looking forward to it. Like, it just seems like the genre is flourishing pretty much anywhere you look.
Yeah.
Like, we're even getting some great re-releases from like Valancourt books of like classic horror stuff. I've noticed a greater variety. For like a long time, it was like all haunting stuff that's a metaphor for trauma. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, come on.
When anything is all one thing, it gets tiring.
Yeah, like when you pick up your fifth book off the shelf and, oh, it's a ghost. The ghost represents trauma.
I feel like I've read this before,
Yeah, I mean, it starts feeling like watching Dead Space and then Mutant and then Forbidden World, and you just realize you watched the exact same movie 3 times.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Oh dude, Forbidden World.
Isn't that did you actually know about, have you seen those?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen all of them.
Cool.
All the Alien ripoff movies. Yeah, totally. I've seen all of them.
But those 3 have literally the same fucking script.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe
it.
Well,
I mean, except for the part where the monster is killed by cancer.
Yeah, they changed that to killed by a virus that the main researcher that they had.
Yeah. I will never.
It's the exact same plot point. They just substituted real life cancer for fictitious disease.
Yep. But yeah, you're right. They are absolutely the same movie. I've even seen Gargoyles or Gargoyle. You know that
Gargoyle.
one?
It sounds familiar.
Okay, so it's basically Alien in an old ghost town, and there's a gargoyle in the mines, and it's Alien. It's the plot of Alien.
I mean, fuck, Carnosaur 2 is beat for beat the script for Aliens.
Oh, Carnosaur 2.
Oh god, yes. Actually, I really like the first one.
Me too. I have a soft spot for Carnosaur.
It's like this
Thank
weird
God, the government.
it's got this like weird satirical edge to it that I really like, honestly.
Yeah, and of course, like, uh, it has a scene of a woman giving birth to a dinosaur, so you know.
Yeah, well, it's like a weird chicken dinosaur hybrid, if I recall.
Yeah, that she that she literally
That movie's a
gave birth
fucking
to.
fever dream. Anytime you try to think of any part of it, like the guy slowly eating pie on the desk and then describing how it's a genetically modified crop.
Yeah, like, that movie is so strange.
Oh, it is so fucking weird, but in like
Yeah, somehow it's weirder than Tammy and the T-Rex, which is already a pretty strange movie.
yeah, it basically feels like a dream sequence in an 80 or a 90s Burton movie.
Yeah, it does. You know, it's sort of like, well, what if Full Moon tried to make Edward Scissorhands, but Edward Scissorhands is a robot dinosaur?
What if Pee Wee Herman did some hallucinogens and thought of the plot of Jurassic Park?
Yeah, that's pretty much Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah, God.
Oh my god. Like, oh
Uh,
god, who is
War version though.
who is in that movie? There's like
Paul Walker,
Paul Walker and fucking Denise Richards.
Denise Richards. I almost said Jennifer Aniston, but no, that was Leprechaun.
Yeah, it was Leprechaun. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh. All right.
Gore version that was fucking good though.
Yeah. All right. I should probably let you go at this point. I'm also like run out of old steam. And if you at home are like, but I was just about to donate. Well, donate anyway.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Why not?
If you give him enough, then I will be back for another fucking 2.5 hour verbal hand job.
Oh,
He'll invite me
man.
back if I make him money.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll probably invite you back anyway. You know,
Wow,
this has
awesome.
actually been a lot of fun.
Oh,
Oh god, yeah. See, I'm looking forward to that Salem's Lot. I feel like in my brain there's this other thing.
oh, there's a lot of other things.
There's just so fucking much.
Like I said, we are fucking eating good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like it kind of fucking I feel like we were kind of owed after like the mid 2000s to like mid 2010s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Then you
know?
start getting some like real shit again. Like when was It Follows? I feel like that came like just
That
when
was like, yeah, that was like that was kind of the start of it. That was like, I think 2013.
Yeah.
Wait, no, is it already over 10 years old? Holy shit. Hold on. Let me
You know, it would
follow.
I'm guessing more like probably 7 or 8.
2014, it was 10 years ago. Jesus.
Fuck me.
Fuck. Yeah. All right.
Let's end it on existential dread.
Ah! You know, like pretty soon that thing's gonna be old enough to drive. Well, that was unnecessary. All right. So until next time, everybody. Well, first of all, I want to thank Fear Fan for coming down and chatting with us. Look forward to your next video.
it failed to up. It failed to. It got blocked again while we were actually doing this. So
Okay.
hmm,
Oh, ouch. Ouch. Okay, well, hopefully you'll
we
get
do it for
the
love. Okay.
recipe. Yeah, you do it for love because I don't know what else there is. You know? And for everybody, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno, remember Satan. I love you all very much. Hail Satan, y'all take care.
Good night, everybody.